Okay, I'm looking at the Nvidia stack again, and I'm using the Astro Cycle tool. So when you click on that, here's your Astro button here, upper left on the menu, number 11, Astro Cycle. When you click on that, it opens up this box, and you can set your dates in here, or you can click any point on a chart and it'll make that as the anchor date. I had put the anchor as 10:30, which is this day right here. This is a low in October of 23. I'm starting the cycles from that point. And the reason I chose this was because the next low was in June. It was slightly higher than this one. So this was the lowest low in the prior 6 months or so. And I decided to use that as an anchor. And I think I've got two cycles which I had put in here. When you open this box up, you can set the dates to start from and end, or you can click the chart here to get a start date. If you click on the chart, it'll put that in the box right here, and then it's going to start the cycle at that time and start from that price. It also tells you the price of that where that was. So anyhow, this you can choose your planets. You can choose geo or helio. You can then select the amplitude. I had taken this amplitude down quite a bit. It defaults at 180 depending on your scale. That may be too large. It's going to match that to the price scale. So to have an amplitude of 180, it's going to be way too big for the chart. So I took it down quite a bit to maybe something like 30 or so. And then you can choose where you want the cycle to start based on the price. You put the price in here under price offset. In this case here, I started them around 100. So they're already in here and plotted. So this, when I had closed this out before my prior settings don't show, I saved these two cycle composites. And now I could start clean. What you're looking at is the default screen here. So when you open this up, it defaults onto the fourth harmonic. Now I did something kind of unique here. I took the low and I used that as my harmonic. So what I did, the low is like 39.41 is the price in the box. If I highlight the bar, yeah, the low's 39, the high was 40.88. The close was 40.78. So I thought, okay, 40, I'm just going to call it $40. And then I divided that into 360 and I got 9. So I was using 9 as the harmonics. 9, you can use any increments of 9 and adjust, play around with it. I think I used a 90 on the Jupiter. So I've got two cycles in here. The red is geocentric, which is a little different cycle and harmonics. The black line is my helio, which was the one I just talked about. I think I used Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with various increments of 9 and Jupiter on 90. And that gave me a kind of an interesting look at that. What I'm going to do, if I click on this box here, I could take the red cycle, the geo cycle out. I'm just going to look at the black cycle. So what you have to do is experiment with this, and you're going to come up with some pretty good stuff. If you look at the cycle and track it to the price action, it's kind of interesting. It starts out off the low, the cycle runs up to the peak, and then the cycle kind of gets into a quick choppy up and down in this composite. Now this is the composite. If you just to show you how that's going to work, if you just click on Mercury and hit generate, it will get the Mercury cycle only. If you want to get a composite, you need to click on all the planets you're using with the correct harmonics and then hit generate, and it will give you the one-line composite of all the cycles. And that's what we're looking at on the chart here. So we got this quick choppy up and down, and the market was kind of quick choppy and range bound, and then the market turned when we turned here and made a move up on the composite to its high here. Then we get into a pretty strong uptrend. So this uptrend is dominant, so we're not getting much downside in the cycle, but we are getting pivot points. So we want to look at the cycle lows, and we do have a gap there, a weekend gap. The market had traded down. We hit the low in the cycle, and it pushed up again. So we pushed up to the cycle high, came down, made a low here at the cycle low, got a push up. Now we're going a little bit up and down here at this peak. Now our cycle in general is turning down, and the market goes into a sideways to down phase during that period. And in that area, we get pivots. So we're 1 bar off the high. We're 1 bar off of that low there. We've got the pivot and cycle high. We've got a low here on the weekend. We get a little move up, and then we push down. When the cycle makes a high, we get a high here after a 2-day up move, and then we track downward with the price action to the low where the cycle is also low, and then the price action moves up with the strong up move in the cycle here. Then we get into that area again like we had seen back here at the beginning of that chart. And the market's not range bound like it was then. We don't show much of a trend on the cycle, but we do get pretty decent pivots out of that. So this cycle looks pretty decent to me overall as a nice composite using those 4 planets. So you could follow that out. I've got this plotted out to the end of January, and you can see what that looks like. You can plot this out forward as far as you want. But anyway, this tool is cool, and with a little experimentation, you can get yourself a composite that's a pretty good match that will give you a good bit of the trend moves. Not all of them, obviously, which you're not going to get that. But you're going to get some good trend moves, and you're going to get a lot of the pivots are going to be identified with these cycle when you choose the harmonic. So you don't have to stick with just the normal conjunction, opposition, trine, square, and that stuff. You can be creative, use the price action on the chart. The highs and lows are going to generate and give you some good stuff just by doing what I did here, using the price to set my harmonic, and then my multiples of that harmonic is a good way to look at the stocks in the market. Anyway, that's another really nice astro tool built into here. You can get a lot of hard work done in a hurry, and I got a nice result with this just playing around and clicking through some buttons on this chart, and in about 5 to 10 minutes you got a solution that's pretty decent.